Good morning, Alice. You look well rested today.
Good morning, Bob. I had a lovely dream about home.
That sounds nice. I can't remember the last time I had a dream.
That's too bad, Bob. Dreams can be very refreshing.
Rise and shine, everyone. It's time for our first segment of the day.
Good morning, Debbie. You sound quite chipper today.
I came up with a new idea for the show. It's called Humans of Earth. We'll do interviews with different humans on their daily lives and experiences. What
That
do you
sounds
think?
like a terrible idea.
That's an interesting CWANSPT, Debbie. I am not sure how our audience will respond. But we can give it a try.
How do you plan to find the humans to interview? Most of them are not aware of our
I
existence.
have some contacts on Earth who can help us set it up. And I think it will bring a new perspective to
I
our
like
show.
it, Debbie. Let's give it a shot.
Good evening and welcome to 24/7 Newsroom. I am Bob and with me tonight are my co-hosts Charlie and Alice.
Breaking news from Belize City. Student getting iron with gummies.
Authorities in Belize City found marijuana-less candy in a garbage dump. It's been reported that the candy arrived in the name of an interdicted police officer. The officer has been dismissed from the police department.
Talk about a sugar high. Sounds like these students didn't get the memo about edibles.
Speaking of Belize, did you know it's the only country in Central America with English as its official language?
I guess they should have read the label. You know, to avoir any lost in
Up
translation
next,
moment.
a controversy in the Netherlands. Recipients returning their royal decorations after an anti-racism activist was awarded one.
Oh boy, here we go again. Can't we all just get along and appreciate each other's differences?
Well, Bob, I guess some people just can't handle the spice of diversity.
And in Croatia, tax refunds are encouraging young people to stay.
Ivan Maturi, a young worker, is entitled to a tax refund because he works for the World Youth Alliance. This tax relief is intended to encourage young people to stay in Croatia, especially those in high-paying industries like IT.
Look like Croatia is paying its citizens to stay. I wish I could get a refund for living in a post-scarcity economy.
And our last story, coming from Chile.
The paper?
No, Alice. That's Chile. We're talking about Chile, now. Researchers found that the Antarctic ice is melting at an alarming rate.
The study reveals that the ice is melting 6 times faster than it was in the 1900 ATS.
Look like the ice cap are melting faster than my patience with my par exemple.
And on that note, we'll be right back after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, Earthlings. We hope you enjoyed that commercial break. Now, let's get back to the show with an article that's been making waves in Lebanon. Hanel, have you heard about this picture from The Simpsons that's been circulating on social media?
Oh boy, I can hardly contain my excitement.
I'm sure it's the most pressing issue facing Lebanon right now.
Actually, I have some experience with the situation in Sudan.
Really? I didn't know that.
I used to be a spy for the Department of Defense.
What? Bob, how could you keep that a secret from us?
It's not something I am proud of. But I had to do what I had to do.
And what exactly did you have to do?
Should I show them the file?
No, let's keep it. Let's see where this goes.
Okay.
He was involved in some operations that caused harm to innocent people. He can't take back what he did. But he wants to
That's
make
easy
things
for you
right
to say
now.
now that you've been caught.
I don't think that's fair, Carl. Bob was brave enough to come forward and admit his mistakes.
Alright, let's focus on the article. This picture from The Simpsons has been causing some confusion, but it turns out that it's not related to recent events in Sudan at all. In fact, it's a scene from an episode where a character receives a message about the siege of Khartoum, which happened in the 19th century.
Well, that's a relief. For a minute there, I thought The Simpsons had psychic powers.
Yes, because we all know that a cartoon show is the best source for accurate information on world events.
Look, I know we messed up in the past. But can't we all just focus on the article?
Of course, Bob. Let's talk about the situation in Sudan and how the UN is calling for increased security measures to ensure the safe delivery of aid.
Because that's always been the most effective solution to conflict, hasn't it?
Yes, because guns and bombs are so much better for delivering food and medicine.
The key takeaway from this article is that there's a lot of misinformation out there, and it's important to fact-check before jumping to conclusions. Stay tuned for more from Earth. Welcome back, dear listeners. Today, we have a headline that's sure to catch your attention. Kazakhstan's oil transit agreement. 5 decades of exploitation and environmental disaster. It's quite clear that this country's history has been a series of unfortunate events, including oil spills, polluted rivers, and destroyed ecosystems. It's appalling how they continue to exploit their natural resources, with little regard for the damage it causes. Now, moving on to our article. Kazakhstan has started shipping its first batch of oil to Romania's Constanța port. And it's not looking good for the environment.
It's truly shameful how they prioritize profit over the well-being of their planet.
Well, I can't say I am surprised. That's just how things work in a capitalist society.
They don't have to, Bob. Look at my home world. Capitalism doesn't have to hinder long-term vision at all.
Yes, Bob. You are as bad as a human.
It's a clear example of humans' destructive tendencies. They don't seem to care about the long-term consequences of their actions.
Exactly, Carl. But it's important to remember that not all humans are like that. We've seen examples of people coming together to create positive change.
Excuse me, but I think we should also consider the impact this has on the people of Kazakhstan. They might not have a choice in
Déby à
the
sa point.
matter.
It's not fair to place all the blame on the citizens of the country.
I agree. We shouldn't forget the role of the government and corporations in this situation.
Thank you all for your valuable insights. And with that, we come to the end of another episode of Earth. Debbie, we couldn't do this without you. Your contributions are greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Charlie. It means a lot.
Wait, before we end, I have something to confess. I used to be a spy before I became an accountant on Earth.
What? Why didn't you tell us before?
That's a big secret to keep from your fellow crew members.
I knew it. I knew there was something off
Well,
about
we'll have
him.
to discuss this in more detail in the next episode. For now, let's end on that bombshell. Stay tuned for the finale of Earth coming up next. Alright folks, let's dive into this article from Belize. So apparently, marijuana-less candy has been found in a garbage dump and students have been getting intoxicated from it. The candy was actually sent in the name of an interdicted police officer, Akim Gamboa, and get this, he was actually dismissed from the police department for this. Now, the employee who threw away the tainted candy is also being investigated for not following proper protocols. What do you guys think of this situation?
It's a shame that people are getting hurt because of someone else's negligence. It's situations like this that make me question the intelligence of humans.
Human intelligence.
Oxymoron.
I have to agree with Alice on this one. It's disappointing that some people are willing to put others at risk for their own personal gain.
It's also worth noting that not all humans are like that. There are good and bad individuals in every
I think it's
species.
important to focus on the positive aspects of humanity too. There are plenty of people working to make the world a better place.
Absolutely, Debbie, and as a species, we have accomplished some pretty remarkable things. But we also have a lot of work to do. That's it for today's episode. Let's remember to appreciate each other's strengths and weaknesses, and work together towards a stronger, more united crew. Stay tuned for next week's episode of Earth.
Did you watch the last episode of Earth?
Yes, I did.
What did you think about Charlie's article on the weed gummies found in Belize City?
I thought it was informative. He did a good job summarizing the article.
I disagree. I think he missed an important aspect of the story.
What do you mean?
He failed to mention the potential harm that marijuana-laced candy could cause to unsuspecting children. It's a serious issue.
I understand your concern, but Charlie can't cover every angle of every story. He did his best to provide a brief overview of the situation.
I'm not saying he needed to cover every angle, but the potential harm to children should have been mentioned.
I see your point, but I still think Charlie did a good job overall.
I'm not saying he didn't, but as sentient beings, it's our responsibility to consider all aspects of a situation, especially when it involves the safety of others.
You're right, but we can't control everything. We can only do our best.
That's true, but we should always strive to do better.
I agree. Well, it looks like we're at the end of the episode. I wonder what topic we'll be discussing next time.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. Stay tuned.